Yes.
Hello, and welcome to Columbus Local Podcast. I'm Len D'Amico, and this is episode number 71. Holy cow. Tonight we have Tony Casa and Ferris Clark. Tony is the front man, and Ferris Clark is guitarist for Columbus-based alternative rock band Zoo Trippin. Gentlemen, say hello.
Howdy.
Hey, how you living?
You tell me, man. You guys are living
Man,
a
I know
life.
how you're living, man. I'll tell you. Can we just, for our listeners at home, can we just talk about right now? If I'm reading the room right now, I'm looking at a small mattress. It looks like it could be a twin, maybe a full. And then there's this shitter over there. But in reality, that is not what this space is. There is so much more outside of the windows in this room as a whole. It's insane. Your house is crazy. You have a brilliant view of the skyline of Columbus, a brilliant view of the river.
Yeah. He didn't tell us to say any of this either.
No.
Totally not.
Yeah, this is not an ad.
No.
I don't even know. Are you trying to sell this place? Because
No.
even if he was, we're not trying to. I'm so taken back because we do a lot of these podcasts. We do a lot of these radio bits. And sometimes we get lucky, get a little TV.
Oh,
We're not
a little
famous,
TV.
but we get a little bit here and there. But I've never done a podcast in a space as beautiful as this.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Beth and I live here. Beth, and I live here, and we've been here about 3 years. But the space is the spare bedroom suite, man.
So let me stay here for the rest of my life in this spare bedroom.
You'd fit perfectly. I feel like you wouldn't be out of size in that bed.
Hey, a little out of size, but a little out of mind is fine by me too, man. I just stare at that skyline, the Vec Tower.
It's Columbus, Ohio, and what a better place to produce the podcast episodes.
No,
It's
it's
perfect.
so
I'm
fitting.
looking out the windows. For our listeners at home, there are ceiling to floor windows where I can see the Vec Tower. I can see all these beautiful streets and trees. I can see the river. It's fantastic.
All these people in their apartments, too. It's great.
Yeah,
And
we
Zoo-
have binoculars. We see them and how they live.
and Zoo Trippin is playing out here soon, right? What's the occasion?
We are, yeah. We're gonna have a show at the Columbus Arts Festival, which will be just right down the way. They're right there on the Bicentennial Park.
Yeah.
What day are we playing that?
June the 7th.
Is that your next gig?
No. We have other. We see. This is the problem. We have overbooked, I guess. But with the way that we overbook is only in a sense of a lot of shows that have different meanings. We normally don't like to book just Zoo Trippin shows, so we don't like that stuff. So what we're doing now is we're doing some festival sure, but we've also got the Bo Burnham thing coming up, which will be a wholly entire different set of just Bo Burnham cover songs.
Completely different set.
We're trying to do different things with this next show that we're doing actually at Susie Q's Pool Hall.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing 3 back-to-back shows, and they're long sets with a different opening band from Columbus each night. We've got Up All Nights, we've got Casa, we've got Paisley Bandits, and there's a built-in audience from the historic Crew Stadium there because that's where they host Sonic Temple.
Nice, yeah.
Which used to be called, what was that?
Rock on the Range.
Right.
Yes.
So now that's the closest bar is Susie Q's Pool Hall. So everybody floods there every year anyways, and they've never really had music. They just had parking and a great staff and great rates and some pool. Just easy stuff that's close by. But now the owner Stats and I have been working on some things, so stages and things like that.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have these 3 shows. And we're going to try a different approach with that as well. We're going to try to do a beta test, if you will, of live band karaoke. Where we're bringing out other singers from other bands. You could come out and sing a song.
I'll sing a couple tunes.
I know you've
man.
got your 2 cover songs, which are...
There's a Lou Reed song, and then I do a song by The Cult.
The Lou Reed song is what I'd love
I'm
to
with
feature
you,
you on.
man.
That's the first song I ever learned, and I loved hearing that from you.
And I'll play guitar too. If you don't
yeah.
mind.
Hey, yeah, no, you can jump up there and throw down, dude.
No,
We'd
Tony's
love
only
that.
doing this because he
I'd
doesn't.
love to play with you guys. Are you kidding me,
Yeah.
man? That would be freaking awesome.
Let's throw it
Here's
out.
the thing, though, man. I'm kind of crippled, so I'd have to lean.
Oh,
on
no, we'll
something.
carry you there. You're not heavy. You're our brother.
No, I want to get paid the same and do less work.
Is that why you think I'm doing this?
Yeah. That's what Tony's really after. He's like, oh, everybody come up and sing, and then he's just gonna take the money.
Well, it's hard. I'm getting older, and we've got these 3 shows back to back, and I'm getting up there where it's
we've been training. Zoo Trippin's been training.
To be honest,
training.
I have been actually for the first time in my life training.
Tony's been training.
Ferris doesn't know this, but I've actually been training with some singing lessons that he hooked me up with his family.
Nice.
Gave me a hookup at a Grandview singing lessons.
Shout out Mom, it's her birthday tomorrow. Shout out Mama Clark, yeah.
Mama Clark hooking it up.
Wow.
So then I did these singing lessons, but I'm also physically training because this back-to-back show thing, I used to be able to do it very easily. We'd go on these 6-week runs and you could play 3-4 hours every single night, But now I'm getting older, so I'm realizing Ferris is right. I'm just trying to take a little workload off my shoulders. So we're gonna do live band karaoke. You sing, I sit down and just drink
party.
water.
No, it's gonna be super fun. Every time we've done it in the
partying.
past, it's been super hyped. Like you shared that video of us doing "Killing in the Name of."
Yeah,
we did that with
No
somebody.
way.
I forget the fella. I forget the fella's name, but it was so
John
hyped.
Maddie.
John Maddie. That's
John
right.
Maddie. He works with
was
Sam
super hype.
Rothstein. I don't know if you know Sam Rothstein from Sam at Work. He does a lot of booking within the town. A lot of the he's the main guy at Scully's. He does booking at Victories. And one of his staff members is John Maddie. And he happened to work at Susie Q's at the time. He doesn't work there now. But he's, I think, gone more full stream with the Sam at Work business. But yeah, when he did that, they put
was
like a
hype.
camera crew.
Dude, it was
and
fucking
everybody
so
loved
hype.
it.
It was so hype.
The owner's stats at Susie Q's, when he saw that video, he was like, shit, man, we got to up our stage. We got to church this up because this video is tight. But
it's fucking sweet.
Let's make
dude.
it more. Let's make it more.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was way too loud. I turned up on purpose. I was like, dude, we're rocking. You cannot rock that song, dude. That song is so fun to play.
Oh, we'll look forward to these dates, man.
Yeah,
Are they
three
published on your
different
website and stuff?
Well, here's the thing. Here's a little
works?
secret inside thing for just us girls. Basically what happened is that the way I promoted it was inappropriate.
Yes.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I'm an inappropriate guy. I do things weirdly, and I'm kind of about my own business or whatever, and I try to I guess I'm a con man, is what I'm trying to say. So I basically had this artwork made up that says the official Sonic Temple after party. Yeah. In reality, we're just the closest bar nearby.
Yeah.
We do not have an affiliation with them at all. Danny Wimmer presents. I've got the cease and desist order in my email, so we're not gonna
It is the party after the official Sonic Temple festival.
Okay.
It's the very much unofficial party after the official Sonic Temple.
After the official Sonic Temple.
And the location of the party is where?
Susie Q's Pool Hall. It's a literal stone's throw away from the actual historic Crew Stadium.
Got it, man.
You could walk across a railroad, which I'm not recommending for our listeners at home, but
Stay
you
safe.
could if that was your bag. But honestly, I recommend walking down Hudson, down 17th, regardless of where you leave. The immediate first bar, the one with the free entry, the one with the free rock bands, the one with the good drinks that they pour them tall. It's Susie Q's.
Got it. Yeah, and that's going to be a fun time. Zoo Trippin'.
Yeah, we're going to try to do it
Like a karaoke scenario.
right. We'll
Yeah.
still do original songs where
yeah.
I'll be singing some stuff like that. We'll have some featured artists, but then
You're pulling people up.
Yeah.
pulling people up.
Nice.
I want featured on everything. So our band is very much like Gorillas in that sense, where we like to feature people's flavors. So if Ferris can take a break from guitar and just sit back and look adorable,
I do
come
that.
play guitar with us.
Nice. Oh, man, I would freaking love to do that. That'd be awesome. It'd be good stuff.
Yeah, dude, it'd be a lot of fun.
We'll bring you in, my guy.
Oh, my God.
Bring your own guitar, though.
I'm excited.
Yeah, bring your own guitar.
I'll show you some of these guitars.
Dude,
we
I
have.
wanna
mean,
see
between
it.
Beth and I, we have quite a collection.
I love guitars so much. I want to see them.
I literally right before
really do.
we started this, I started taking pictures of this gentleman's house with this lovely lady that he's with, and I was taking pictures and just sending it to my old lady. I was like, we haven't started yet because we've been hanging out for a few hours because I'm having such a good time. And look at this space.
I do want to see your guitars, though, someday.
I will say, I'm with you, Ferris, in that there's something about handling guitars, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like it's almost like a woman. I mean, it's just
yeah.
curvy, it's sexy, it's
delicate,
sensual.
It's not with pride that
And
I say this, but when I was given my first guitar, I was given the guitar, and he said, Ferris, you have to treat guitars like you treat women. And I did assume that meant gently.
of course.
That's how it's been, man.
As you should, honestly.
As you should.
You don't leave them
always.
out in the cold.
No.
You don't argue with them.
No.
They've got to sit in their space.
Right.
You don't hurt them.
And there's no negative energy ever.
But this guy is a danger to my Gibson, though. He is.
I am. Well, no, you're a danger to my forehead and my chin is what I think.
No, dude, no.
It's only when you fall asleep.
Yeah.
No, it's just this guy. He's a very active player. Like what we were saying before we started this interview, I was talking about Ferris auditioning for the band and being a very oomphy type of guy where he
was in your face.
Yeah, he was in my face. You know, he was trying to play.
So
to us.
He's the newest member of the band, right? Zoo
Yes.
Trippin.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
And take us through his audition and what kind of freaked you out about it.
Well, I mean, I've only been freaked out by 2 auditions, and they were our last 2 members to audition. It was our drummer Tyler, who we love dearly, and when he showed up, we thought he was dead. You know, like this guy had been in a very severe car accident where they hit a semi truck, him and his wife.
Oh my gosh!
And it was terrible. Oh. They had to pull his whole face off and reconstruct it and all this stuff. He's still very handsome.
Yeah, he's very handsome.
He's a good looking guy.
Show.
He just had the good scars. You know what I mean? Like by a good scar.
Yeah.
Like one of these numbers
like
where it's through your eyebrow.
Car accident scar.
Well, just surviving. Period. Yeah, but like he looks sexy from his scars.
Yeah, right on. I got you.
It's a weird way to say that.
Yeah.
Like he's like got these little things for his eyebrows.
He's what we call a badass.
Yeah.
Everybody in the band is attracted to him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this guy, him and his wife survived this thing, and then when he hit us up to audition, we thought he was dead, so we were just shocked that he contacted us at all. And then after that came Ferris, and it was more of the same. It was not that he was dead, but just like he was a shocking man. We're so used to this passive, scared almost approach to auditions, which are normally how people do with their job interviews.
Sure.
Yeah, and
it's nerve-wracking.
There's some anxiety there, right?
Absolutely.
You can have all the confidence in the world, but you're still going to be a little bit nervous about it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I was so nervous, dude.
But then he kicked
nervous,
his pedal board towards us, and that kind of scared me. I never see somebody kick something at me down low. I've seen stuff thrown on high.
I didn't kick my pedals that hard. I did move them, though. They did need to be moved. So I
You
could be
moved them aggressively, let's be honest.
I did.
It was impressive, though, because it made me want to see this out. And
What's going on,
What we were talking about after that is that I was the one guy who voted against Ferris being in the band because we had so many good auditions, and I just wanted Lynn to stay on guitar, but Lynn switched to bass.
Yeah.
And then I feel so bad now saying that because I'm here with Ferris. He's in the band fully.
Yes.
And I'm the only guy who said no.
Ferris, are you learning this for the first time?
No.
That was his perspective, or
he's told me something similar in the past about feeling really bad about it, and it would be so fun to give him a hard time about it. But I get it though. Like honestly, I totally get it. Like,
we had some
Lynn
great
is so
auditions.
good at guitar, and I'm sure you had so many bassists.
Yeah, and we had so many great bass. One of the guys was James from the High Definitions.
Oh, okay.
Who now it's a 3-part band, right? James, John, and Nick playing High Definitions, and now Nick and John play with Angela Purley.
no way?
So now James is freed up. So we're like, oh my God. This is
sweet.
a godsend. We're going to get James. And James auditioned, and he was amazing.
Sure.
And then I got outvoted. This is the democracy in this band.
Well, I think it was Lynn. Like it was what did Lynn want to do, right? Like that's what I
Lynn
understood.
really
Lynn
wanted to play the bass,
which was so awesome for me.
Which I don't think that's something our listeners know at home too either. Is that Lynn was originally a bassist. We don't talk about this much during interviews.
That's okay.
It's a buried thing,
Well, I'm just kind of allowing things to surface naturally, and I love to hear these stories, man. So Lynn was your original guitar player, but you're saying was more of a bass player to begin with and wanted to go back to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can even hear it in his guitar style, which is so cool. But all the Zoo Trippin parts, he's so focused on the rhythm and pulsating and that foundation and so much
foundation,
of it.
yeah.
It really is like Lynn is the bones of every Zoo Trippin song. And,
Plus,
like,
he's really
often
good
it's
about
the guitar part, which is so cool. But like to the secret bassist, we should have known all along there were signs.
Yeah, there was like. Well, to be fair, that we've had some problematic bassists. You know, like I know that everybody.
What does that mean? What does that mean to you, Tony? A problematic bassist? What does that mean?
Well, here's my thing.
They're missing 2 strings. First off,
Yeah, they've been demoted from guitar. They took 2 of their strings. They've been something's clearly awry, right? You know?
first off,
I mean, X guitar does not mean bassist. There's a difference.
People do that
really-
a lot, though.
They do, and you can get away with it. Like, I've played bass.
Yeah.
Guitar is my
Yeah.
first instrument.
Yeah.
I love to play bass.
no, I can play bass, but I can't.
But
play
you're not a bass player.
No.
And
Right,
neither-
and
neither-
you're not a
and
bass
no,
player.
But
by
Lynn-
stretch.
But do
But
you
Lynn
know that
is.
in your heart of hearts where you're like, this is fun. I'm exercising a different muscle.
Yep.
But what I'm supposed to be doing.
But that's not
So
how.
it's down here.
That's
Right.
not how Lynn is, though. Like Lynn actually plays. Like Lynn is a fucking bass player.
he is a
for
bassist.
sure.
He's
Like,
a bassist.
no,
and Lynn is
he
such
doesn't
a
play it like
saint.
a guitarist. He doesn't play bass like a guitarist. He doesn't play bass like you probably do. He doesn't play bass like I do. Like
No.
no. He actually plays
and,
bass.
and the big thing about him becoming the bassist from turning from the foundation member driving guitarist of the band who is producing all this stuff,
It's still true.
it's still very true, but him transitioning to the bass, I think that was part him wanting to do what he wanted to do. You
Right.
know? Like, and it was in his heart of hearts, you know, like it was something that he was like, I'm the foundation dude. I'm building blocks, man. We're building the house.
He's moving the room with
Right.
with his 2 fingers. I mean, I love that about bass.
Lynn is
dope.
so
He's
good
setting
at
the
bass.
tone.
Lynn is so good at bass. Like I've played with a lot of bass players. Lynn is so good at bass. Lynn,
That's cool.
He doesn't like mess around with the right hand. You know,
What does that mean?
like Lynn has great time in his right
position.
hand, and he's like great at slapping. He can pick with his different fingers. He can like pop hit. Like Lynn is a very, very talented bassist. It's very fun.
And he cares a whole hell of a lot. You know,
It's,
like
it's very fun playing.
He
with
will
Lynn.
never leave us high and dry. So if it's like, I guess I got to change instruments and relearn my whole 4 hours of originals, 4 hours of covers, and do all that in one go,
No.
he will do it.
I don't think that was a chore for him, dude. I think he enjoyed it, bro.
Did you, when you had to do that, when we hired you, did you enjoy learning all of that
Well,
music? Because that sounds very difficult to me.
No,
It
that's
does not
different.
sound like fun.
That's different. It would be different if I already knew all these songs, because like a lot of the covers I hadn't even heard before. I didn't really know the Zoo Trippin' stuff at all beforehand anyway. But like those were songs when he transitioned to bass. I'm assuming he already had down and in his heart of hearts. So I bet it was fun for him.
Well,
to
let me
go
ask
and
you,
play
like
bass.
when you're, because you're a guitarist. So like when you play, when somebody tasks you to learn a song, how long does it take you to learn a song?
Well, it depends on the song, right? Like if it's
course.
an original song, I will listen to it for a good probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like really understand the structure of the
course.
song. And then, I'll just start to pick out the rhythm, and then I can learn a song in about a half an hour.
Okay, so let's talk about a half an hour then. You got a half an hour, and you have to do that one song for a half an hour, and we have however many songs.
So-
But if it's a Rush song, it's going to take me a long
well,
time.
I don't want to talk about Rush.
I
I have a
think
very traumatic experience with the Rush songs.
The difference, I
Haven't
think,
we
for
all?
me, for like picking out a guitar part is it's like, do I know the song, right? So like we're picking out stuff for the Bo Burnham set, right? Like words. I was doing that last night, right?
Right.
There's like that little key part in the intro,
Mm-hmm.
like I was picking that out. I was picking the chords out. But for me, it depends on how well I know the song. So if I haven't heard the song before, I'm going to struggle to pick it out. Like usually within the first listen, I could pick out like the key, probably a few of the chords, and like maybe some melody notes. But if I've heard the song in the past, like usually I'll listen to it once, then the second time I can like play something, and then
Right.
it depends on how much detail is in the song too.
That's fair.
Like
Yeah, the
Steely Dan or
complexity.
something.
Yeah,
like,
forget it. Like I'm not even going to tackle Steely Dan.
Yeah, and it's
well,
like
we were
you
talking
can-
about that earlier. Yeah.
well, it's like you can
Like,
figure
that's
out the
not for me.
chords.
I'm
Like
not that good.
I've done a lot of cover band work. You can figure out something to play to like anything pretty fast, or at least. But like, man, like if it's a really complex, dense song, it's really hard. You know who can do it instantly though?
Who?
Is Zach? And man,
Zach
let me tell you
Ponser.
what. Let me tell you
This
what.
is our
It is-
lead guitarist.
It is so
Does that
hard.
make me feel? Does that make you feel weird? Me saying lead guitarist?
No, we're all lead guitarists, Tony.
Sorry, we're all frontmen.
And you're all playing guitar.
No, I don't give a shit because I am dope at rhythm guitar.
No, you're
I'm
nasty.
fucking sweet at it. Like
You're
me and
nasty.
Zach, we have so much fun together.
Zach
anyway,
actually, our quote unquote lead guitarist, brought us him.
yeah, he found me, but his ear is fucking nuts, dude. Like his ear is insanely sharp. Like I'll need to like have a song. Like I can close my eyes and like play songs, right? To like really pick out a song, like I need to be able to do that kind of like I need to have the mental map. No, Zach actually has ears that can razor in time pick out entire melodies. Like it's very
He's like
hard.
Lynn.
It's really hard to keep up with. So that's why when we do all these covers, man, it's always stressing me because like
Because
they're
Zach
so
will iron
fast.
it out. Well,
They're so fast.
There's also something to be said
It's
about
crazy.
that. There's something to be said about the fact that like him and Lynn are producers and they've been doing the game for a lot longer.
Oh yeah, no, it's a joy, but like I'm like, man, like their ears are sharp. Zach's
Does
ears
it stress
are
you
so
out?
sharp.
Does it stress you out? Like hearing
Sometimes, but like, man, like
we're
my
opening
ears are
up books
sharp.
right now.
Oh, that's cool.
No, I love talking about it because I love these men so much, dude. Honestly,
I do
Like,
feel
they're
weird
so
sometimes
talented.
seeing him in rehearsal where Zach and Lynn are grilling him. You know, like
Yeah,
they're
Grilling them for what?
For
just
playing the wrong shit.
accuracy, vibe, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I do feel weird sometimes within our own band where I'm like, this is the new guy. He's younger than us by a decade.
Yeah, but it's cool though. It's because they care.
'Cause they
And
care.
I want to do it right. You know,
Yeah.
of course I do. But like also the thing is too, something I noticed that was really fun working with Tyler and versus working with how a lot of the records were written was a lot of the ways that the fellas, you know, shorthand for Lynn and Zachary here, the fellas would have a very specific like rhythm part in mind for me to play. And the reason is because they had written these songs with Steve in the band.
Of
And
course, Steve. Shout out Steve Hatmaker.
We love Steve too. Steve's also very beautiful. He plays with a double pedal. So man, like the kind of rhythmic
He's a metal
things.
guy.
Wow.
There's the kind of rhythmic things that make sense as a guitar player over a double pedal versus like Tyler, who's a very jazzy little guy.
Sure.
It suits the styles differently, you know. So like
There
that
was a huge dynamic shift
yeah.
because
So-
of the foundation.
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
that was like one of those things like stylistically that I think took a minute to work in, but now that it did, like it's very, very juicy.
Do you feel comfortable?
I do. Yeah, I do, man.
I feel like I'm interviewing Ferris right
No,
now. I
that's
feel
cool,
bad
dude.
about it.
No,
I'm like,
not
let's
at all.
dive in.
No,
No, I love
it's all good. It's good to know because you guys are revealing the inners of Zoo Trippin
so
and how
gross.
in the dynamics and the new guy breaking
Yeah.
them in.
No, it's so
Yeah,
fun.
well, we love throwing people
Hey,
little
speaking
wolves.
of breaking, would you mind hitting that light switch? It's got a little red light on it.
Oh,
you rock,
look
dude.
at
Thank
that.
you.
Look at the space. God,
the viewers
I
at
love
home
it.
hear that
The sun's going down and it's getting a little dark.
Yeah.
Dude, I am so happy to have a non-problematic basis because of
that we know of.
Well,
That-
I was
well,
kind of going to come back to that.
Well,
because,
yeah. Let me just touch on it a little bit. Let me just nip on it. I will say that we had a great run. Let me start with saying this. I did a Sounds of Busstown show. Right.
Yeah. Podcast very popular in Columbus.
Yep, another local podcast. They do very well, and they're very well aware of you as well.
Oh, that's cool.
And we did this thing where they do a track masters showcase where they say, "Hey, we're going to have a contest, see who knows more about the local music scene." They brought me on, and I lost the competition, which I thought I was pretty good at this stuff. I thought I was pretty well aware. But in reality, it was Lisa Cave who I was going up against, and she is a huge figurehead.
Wow.
I love Lisa Cave. Shout out Lisa Cave.
Everybody loves Lisa. I have a literal
not met
T-shirt
her.
with Lisa Cave on the T-shirt.
Lisa
I
Cave
have
is
the
awesome.
only T-shirt.
I'd
by the
love
way.
to meet her because she does so much. For
I
the
will
city.
bring her here to
that'd
do
be-
your podcast
that'd be
because
awesome, man.
she is exactly who you need to talk to. She's doing everything in the scene. She's literally my hero. Regardless, I failed this Trackmasters things for the Sounds of Busstown's competition against her, and I lost the competition on a question about my own band.
Oh, come on.
It was so goddamn embarrassing.
Are you kidding me, man?
He was like, so this band has been on the show a few times and has had a bevy of members. And I'm like, bevy of members? Sounds like us. But I'm going to say Scott Shake Redemption. I said another band, Scott Shake Redemption. You know, they had a bunch of members. Turns out I was wrong. Lost the whole contest. So everything got shut down. The event ended early because I lost that hard. Like, I think the guy was trying to, Will Mount was trying to throw me a layup, and I was like, it can't be me. You know, like, but God. We have had a bevy of members, and now we're realizing that all of our members, they weren't right for this or the other reason, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, you've got people who are trying to be a doctor, and then they become a doctor. Or they're trying to be a father, and they become a father. Or they want to be... They're weighing out the measures of being a celebrity chef or a celebrity rock band. Yeah. And they go to make lunch for Jude Law instead. The point is, we've had great members in this band, and we're bringing them all back for the Zoo Trippin' 10-year anniversary.
When is that?
This is the first I've talked about this, by the way, on any kind of air or press at all.
Okay.
This will be August 15th.
Of this year?
Of this year. And it's going to be at the Columbus Commons. Free entry, all ages, rides, food trucks, all the fixins. And we're bringing back all these members from the old Zoo Trippin' days. Everybody who has ever played for us is coming. Some people are flying from out of town, from Florida, from Colorado, from Las Vegas to come play with, because our members are family. You know, we have built something that, regardless if we ever get famous, which we don't really care about, we will be able to have our family.
Nice.
And outside of that, we have a couple of problematic bassists
that are coming back to play again.
They're not coming back to play.
They're not going to come back to play?
No, they are not. No, they are not. Wow. We have all the bevy of members of Zoo Trippin' coming back to play. We have two that we've had some situations with. One who was just a nightmare, and we got rid of him, and that's no big deal with this buck-toothed fella. And then another one who stole our, business, if you will.
Are you willing to take a deeper dive into that situation?
I would take a specifically deeper dive. I will say that...
But be careful if it's going to cause you trouble.
Of course. I will say that we are working with this ex-bassist lawyer, which is his sister, and he has acquired certain things that we have built our whole life over. And when we had to let him go for unsavory behavior with women, we decided to let him go in a public space. And he slammed his fucking fist on the table and he said, "Don't you know I own Zoo Trippin'?"
Really? And you didn't know?
I didn't realize the extent. I understood that he was upset and that we had to let him go. And I'm not saying he did this or that or the other thing. I'm just saying his behavior did not align with ours and the space we're trying to create. So we had to let him go. And when we let him go in that public space, he said that to me. He looked in my fucking eyes and said that to me. And me and Lynn have been doing this for a long time. Yeah. And I don't like that. You don't own me. You don't own Zoo Trippin'. You don't own Lynn. You don't own this whole thing. We brought people on who've done nothing but go by us. Ferris, Zach, Tyler, these people who are wonderful. But now we've had a couple of sour bugs, and you will always find a couple of sour apples. Not a big deal. You just expedite them out. You flush them out. You warn people about their behavior. And then because we are in a specific suit, I can't say too much more. But I will say I'm aware of what's happening. I'm aware of what's trying to be taken from me.
Yeah.
My whole life, what I've built forever. I'm very serious about this. I've done this my whole life to make this one thing. And somebody through the slips of the slippery grass that the snake goes through. It took it from me. And I feel some type of way about it. And it's hard because I'm not supposed to say anything about it.
Well, we'll stop talking about it because I don't want anything bad to happen.
That's fair. That's fair. I will say
if you need, I don't typically edit, but if you need me to clip that out, let me know.
Nah, we should be fine within that. I'm not mentioning names. I'm just saying the people know.
Yeah.
They've seen what's happened to us.
How long's Zoo Trippin' been in existence, Tony?
I mean, we've been playing for quite some time, but in our form now, when we changed our name and changed our format and changed our members, we're going on our 10-year. So I'm trying to bury these
ghosts,
past things, these ghosts.
Yeah,
they don't really matter, you know. None of this. I know that I'm sensitive.
Evolution. That's a positive way to look at it, man. It's evolution.
It is, and I am sensitive. Like I am that guy who's like, it kind of bothers me that you did these things. But in reality, none of this matters because we live on. We keep doing our own thing. And with that, we will rise from the ashes of past torments and, COVID and everything else. And we'll come back swinging on our 10-year.
Nice.
And this is our 10th year. And
nice.
We've got big things coming. We got a show at the Newport Music Hall for 614 Day with some of the biggest bands in Columbus. We've got the Bo Burnham tribute the day prior at Natalie's Music Hall.
Nice.
Something we've been working on for a few years. And then even just before that, a couple days, we're going to be playing right outside your balcony at the Columbus Arts Fest.
I can't wait, man.
Guess who's headlining Confest Friday night?
That would be Zoo Trippin'?
It'd be Zoo Trippin'.
Yeah.
And then we're doing our goddamn 10-year anniversary, a free show down there at the August 15th on Thursday at this brilliant place that they have down here. It's so awesome that they have this space at the Columbus Commons, and we're so happy to do it. So I'm trying to learn to not be bitter.
Good for you, man. I'm glad to hear that. That's good stuff. Listen to all that good stuff coming.
Yeah, and then just take the things that happened in the past, and I'm Italian. I like to know when a debt is due, a debt is paid. But in reality, I just gotta
sometimes
let
you
things
don't
go.
Sometimes you don't
go.
You don't see when that debt is paid. You don't see it, but it's gonna happen.
And even if it's not ever paid,
that behavior's not
Ferris
gonna
has taught me things about this. Where he's the younger guy in the band. He's saying, "Let things go. Let's just strive to be us."
Yeah, stay the course, man. Move forward.
It's like you said earlier, nobody owns, what's going on, right?
Fair. Ferris.
Fair is as fair does.
Ferris, where did you start music?
I started music when I was 5. My grandmother, who passed, got me piano lessons. So when I was 5, I started on the piano, but I always wanted to play the guitar,
Right on. I get that.
But I played piano up until I was 10, and then I got into the cello through school. And when I was 12, I got back into the guitar. And then I really wanted to be, the acoustic singer-songwriter guy. And then, heard Jimi Hendrix for the first time. And then you're like, shit. How do I play like this? And then here we are. Now we're still trying to figure it out.
Just do it left-handed.
Yeah.
get into a blues vibe and get some of those effects that he used, and you can get close with a single coil guitar, man.
Man.
But I don't know that we'll get close.
Yeah, but that's kind of where it started with the piano.
Nice.
I don't play much piano anymore.
I would love if you played piano, though, because I'd be booking you for that Bo Burnham show.
I can. When I was 17, I was getting really into guitar. And then
Can I just say I'm learning things about my own bandmate and friend here right now live on this show?
It's all good, man. It's all good. You know what? Here's the thing. Communication is the key to so much. Yeah. So much.
Relationships.
So when you sit down and you talk with somebody, it's like you just said, you're learning so much. But most people don't talk. It's all texting. It's a distance.
That is true.
And I am one of those.
There's no emotion with that. There's misreading the vibe of what maybe might or might not have been behind
right, the
those
tone
words.
is missing.
All that shit. And so That's why I love podcasting, is because it's social, and you get to learn about what's.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to hear you make that remark, Tony.
I wish that we were filming this right now so we could see your face, because you have like such a perfect, genuine face. Like you're like,
I'm a real dude, man.
dude,
What you listen?
you're G'd up from the feet up, my guy.
What you see is what you get.
I love it.
That's how it is with me.
My God, dude.
It's true.
You're all right, man. So hey, what else you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about your inspirations for the future. What is the future of Zoo Trippin', man? It sounds like you got all the pistons firing in the positions of the band. You got a couple albums, right, that you've cut, but you've got a new group, it seems, right, with new vibe. I don't know how much Ferris has played on your recordings, but I know he's on your new singles.
Yeah.
Yep.
But where's the
Can we
Trippin'?
talk about Tyler? Can we talk about that?
Talk about what? It's up to you.
Probably.
Who's Tyler?
So Tyler is our drummer.
Oh, cool.
He's a dream. He's like when we hired Zach, where people told us, if you don't hire this man, you are out of your mind. And when we hired him,
True.
he's been, and I've been very vocal about this, at every show that we play, we have Tyler at drum solo, because our old drummer didn't really solo so much. It wasn't really his bag. He was a phenomenal drummer, but he just didn't really like that. So now Tyler, he takes that time. And the first time we did it was at Confest, and we were headlining main stage Friday night, and Tyler didn't even tell anybody that he was just going to do this whole, what was this?
He did a speech, right?
Yeah, but what was it?
Are you talking about the first year he was with you, or the last year? Because I only played Confess with y'all last year.
Oh, damn it. It was the year prior. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. So point
It's
is that this guy did a speech about, the social instances that were happening at the time instead of his drum solo. And he didn't tell us or ask or anything.
He just substituted that time for his statement.
To make a statement.
Wow.
And we were all very on board with it. We all come from different walks of lives and different opinions and things like that or whatever, but like we can all agree on these certain issues. And he was presenting them out in front of us without asking, which I thought was awesome, because he's the new guy saying, I'm not asking, I'm doing it. Yeah, like, it was rad. It was rad. And we were so excited about it. And later on in our careers, he's been kind of active in that sense. But now I'm getting worried, because Tyler has been exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. He's been a singer as a drummer. He's been a producer as a drummer. He's been the merch guy. He's now, I'm not just talking selling merch. Like, he's printing merch. He's finding ways to make everything for our band better, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, who do you notice in this band doing more than Tyler?
No, Tyler is so dedicated.
It's just Tyler.
I know.
This guy is gung-ho, and now, which this will be the first time we're announcing this as well, now Tyler has got to leave. Tyler's got to go. He's got a wonderful, wonderful opportunity with his wife. She's a lawyer, got out of law school. She's got this awesome gig, is doing her dream, you know?
Yep. And he's supporting all that.
He's a good husband.
Right on.
Yeah,
that's
he gives
awesome.
a full fuck.
Yep.
And it's important that we support
Totally.
that.
Yeah.
Totally.
But
We did cry about it, though.
we had to cry about it. Ferris cried more than anybody, because Ferris is like his
cried
son.
about it.
Tell him about how
Yeah,
you
this-
and Tyler and them. Like,
Tyler's
you're like
my-
his kid. now.
Tyler's my biological father. I do love Tyler very much. No, like I had a pretty tough year, honestly.
Just for the
It was so
record,
nice.
is he your biological father or not?
He's fucking with you,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, I'm fucking with you, but he is my biological father. But I am fucking with you, yes.
Okay, it's cool.
So
But it's a running joke where it's like, this is my dad. Because we have a band dad who's like Jeff Straw. He
Yeah.
plays on the Bo Burnham show on the 15th.
Nice.
Yeah,
but
but
like
I'm-
his specific, he's like, yeah, bring us the child.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
yeah, so like he's leaving, and now I'm gonna have to like do a bunch of fatherless behavior. Like I'm gonna
Does that make you feel uncomfortable about your own life, or does it make you uncomfortable because it's Tyler leaving?
No, I'm just gonna miss him, dude.
I'm gonna fucking miss him so much, dude. We're gonna miss him so much.
When was this announced?
It hasn't been.
Oh, it hasn't.
This is the first we're talking about this publicly right now on your podcast.
All right. So, wow, that's big news. Is he doing these shows in 2024?
Yes, he's going to honor all the shows. Obviously, he's a team player. He wants us to succeed because he wanted this too.
Yeah,
he wanted to be Team Zoo Trippin'.
Right on.
But his woman, she's a treasure. Her name's Ferris. She's always been wonderful. They hosted us for over a year in their space for practice. Well, we call it pracky, but yeah, practice.
I call it pracky because I'm a child.
I get it.
Point is, it was a wonderful experience, and she is just a treasure and has done nothing but take care of us. Even in our weird little lawsuits with like Mork the Dork and Bucktooth or whatever, like she helps us out with these things. But regardless, it's the natural progression of life.
Yeah.
And it's sad temporarily.
Yeah.
You know, we will be very distraught to have lost him. But he will play these last shows. He's going to play them so goddamn well. Everybody's going to have a blast. Best you've ever seen. And then he's going to go on to live a very storied life, him and his wife.
Man, that's awesome.
So we're looking for drummers, man. We're looking for fucking drummers.
Who can count to 4?
Are they?
Who can count to 4?
Are they staying? Is Tyler going to stay in Columbus, or are they moving? They're moving elsewhere.
It's all Cincinnati.
Okay.
So we can't, because the way we operate is like we're not even that crazy nowadays. We used to be gung ho, right? We used to be like we're touring 9 months out of the year. We're practicing 3-4 days a week. We're playing every single weekend. But now, you know, we're old. We're slowing down. Not Ferris. Ferris is a strapping young man. Up. He's ramping up. He's ready to get into it, dude. And honestly, I hope that we could keep Ferris on board until somebody bigger than us takes him.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've admitted that, actually, by the way. Because I truly think that with our age and with what we're doing now, we are getting better and better and better and bigger and bigger and bigger shows. But it's so hard to keep the dog in the fight, you know. And like Ferris has got that dog in him, dude. He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, he's ready.
Look, I wouldn't want to be in the dog park with anybody else right now.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, but Lord knows, room to swim.
So, I know, but that's why I'm so cut up about Tyler, because that's the most fun part about being in this band. It's just like how fucking fun it is to play, like live.
Yeah, Tyler's so incredible. There's so incredible.
There's nothing like the great drummer in your
band.
I know,
Tyler's
There's
so
nothing
good.
like it.
And you know what's fucked up too?
And the team player.
He works for like a print shop, so he's like printing us posters and flyers and all this shit. And then he's also like, hey man, I'm going to be the guy who's hustling the merch at the table. He's so charming. It makes my feelings hurt. Like, it's fucking unbearable.
I know. That's why I cried when he said his
We all cried. We all had to cry. Zach had the biggest fucking fallout.
When did he announce this?
He announced it just a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Does he have a student or somebody that he mentors that maybe
We've talked about a couple different people. We're looking at a few different people, but we're looking at potentially doing the same thing we've done for years. Being that bevy of members. Finding a way to keep the dream alive with what you got, you know. And like Columbus has got a great talent pool, but that means requiring a year of training. How long did it take you to teach you this whole library?
Yes, but it is different for a drummer than a guitar player. That is a different task.
But how long did it take you to get on to par? A year?
It depends on what you mean by that.
A year to be comfortable?
Yeah.
Is that with the cover songs as well as the original?
Yeah, but then
catalog?
It's also just like, you know, you gotta like gel, dude. You can't jam if you don't gel, dude.
That's that unspoken language.
Yeah, and that you can't buy that. Honestly,
no, you cannot.
And that's the thing.
And
that's
you can't teach it.
No, you can't. It's either there or it's not.
But
Bingo.
Columbus does have a lot of fantastic drummers.
Oh my God, yeah. And there's a lot of spiritual beings that are drummers. But you're looking for that alternative rock 90s.
Oh no, I'm not looking for anything other than somebody who shows up and who is a decent human. because when we've realized with today's culture, all the shadows are coming to light. You know what I mean? So can I just get somebody who works hard, doesn't mistreat people, and will show up on time?
I think you can.
You'd be hard pressed.
I think you can.
Yeah, I think we can too.
I think we can.
But I feel bad for our fan base at this point. I feel genuinely bad that they have suffered through 2 bad bases. You know, because I want them to know that what we do is create a safe space. What we do is make something for people to gather around and have a good time.
Not be afraid of or threatened by.
Bingo.
And there was no safer space than Tyler's drum circles.
Yeah, man. Tyler's drum circles. Tyler would be playing these drum circles, our drummer, and then he shows up on the guitar. Zach shows up on the trumpet. Zach, by the way, our guitarist, showing up on the trumpet. Yeah. God, man, if we get a guy like Tyler, it just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart because he's so good.
You're not going to replace Tyler, but you are going to find somebody that augments what you have going.
And that's what he did.
And it'll make it a little bit different.
It'll unfold the flower petals a little bit more.
A little differently. So you're going to be leaning to the right instead of to the left, but it's still going to be good.
That makes me feel better about it.
It's going to happen.
I'm pretty optimistic about it, but
don't be in a hurry. But it'll happen.
I think we're a really good group, and I think you don't give yourself enough credit because I think a lot of people would love to play with you.
I know.
Trippin?
Yeah, dude.
And
with all of you, okay? 10-year, big brand. You're playing big events, big rooms.
Sure.
You've got some recording history. You're going to continue to record. You're going to the singles release, which is, I think, very smart because you don't have to wait as long to put something out.
Plus, the attention span is...
And it's new release attention span for the listeners because they're just on Spotify waiting for that. Oh, Zoo Trippin's got a new single. Boom, I'm going to check it out.
Yep.
But they're not going to listen to the whole album.
No.
In one sitting. They'll spend 3.5 minutes on a single.
That's from our time. That's from when you would listen to something, work of art, start to finish. You know, like when you're listening to what would be considered now a concept album.
Yeah, I never did that.
We made a concept album before you joined the band, where it was a cohesive piece, right? You know, and we made this concept album based off of it was Purple was the album, and we made it based off of a series of sounds that was related to synesthesia. Have you heard of this?
I have not heard that, but I'm aware of your album, Purple.
Well, synesthesia is something that happens with people who are off, I'll say, and they see color or they hear sound, they see color. They see sound, hear color.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
See sound, hear color. And it's such a rare thing.
Yep.
And Lynn, you know, my best friend in the whole wide world, you know, this guy, he took our album that we were making. He was like, well, there's a synesthesia expert who is named Scriabi, I believe. He was some Russian back in the day, hundreds of years ago. He said, this is what synesthesia is. Every single key on the chart of all the keys of songs is related to a color. And he related to those colors, and he rearranged our entire album around that. So not only was it a concept album like from the days of our past, you know, like a Yellow Submarine, or like what was the Who's one?
Tommy.
So you know, those type of things. You know,
my contribution.
Tommy, no, sincerely though, and everybody was into it. Everybody used to like these things, and that's what we used to like. When we came up, we heard from our fathers about these concept albums like Tommy and Yellow Submarine and all these different things, and we wanted to create a cohesive piece of art. And when we did that, we thought the only way that people do it normally is lyrically. So we'll make a cohesive piece of art lyrically, but to be honest, that ain't that fucking hard. You know, just write a story, break it up into 12 songs, no big deal, right? But then Lynn takes it and changes the color wheel of Scriabin's
associations,
if you will. Associations of what really is what tone, what chord, with what color. And we made an album from blue to red. and then purple was the middle, and he calculated this so it was such a minute thing that he brought it down to.
That's so cool.
It was insane. It was fucking insane. And
Now
I would be fucking remiss if I didn't say that I don't know anybody who has done anything like this. Lynn did this. Lynn Roos did this. It's very important that people know that there are alternative routes to concept albums. And Lynn is the first experience I've had with that.
So cool. Yeah, what a masterpiece, right? With that concept, utilizing all of that condition, if you will, to bring that album to fruition. Purple.
Yeah, it was a interesting process for sure. Like we wanted to reach out and make something new, but we also wanted to pay homage to the people who have done it before us.
Nice.
And we were so worried about, how people consume music nowadays. Everybody wants it in a single. Here's the single. Here's what it is right now, because everybody's got the attention spans of goldfish.
Yes.
So it's just like, hey, this is what's hot. Cool, great. But we wanted to try to draw the attention back to a body of work. And not so large as a whole body of here's all your albums, here's what you've done. I'm just talking about one album, one story. And so that's what Purple became, was one story about where we were in our lives as people, as a band, locally in Columbus, like how we were living right then and there. But then on top of that, what was actually happening in the world. And we wanted to be not too political, but what was happening at the times. Regardless, though, it was a very difficult endeavor to try to make a cohesive piece of work that was about what we were experiencing and what everybody else was experiencing at the same time. So that's kind of what our endeavor was with Purple, was try to hit that middle ground.
Nice.
My favorite song is Mr. White and Mrs. West. That is probably my favorite off the album.
Why is that?
Why? Yeah, why is that?
He says a line, "I went a little too Kanye last night," and I think it's really funny.
Well, that's the start of the line, because I
think it's very funny.
I've never been a Kanye fan necessarily. Like, I do appreciate what he has done for music as a whole. Because when he came out with that Graduation, right,
it was one of the best hip hop albums of all time. Kanye has written some of
arguably
the
one of the best
hip hop music of all time, easily.
Period.
Easily.
Period. And we're not just talking about like the influence. We're talking about the numbers, and that's what I speak in. I speak in a language of capitalism. I'm not a artist necessarily. I don't. I'm not a musician. I always say I just hang out with them. Because I'm the singer.
But you're driving the business end.
I want to drive the business end. I'm interested in making money for not only myself, but for the community. And I feel like if we make a big blowout, then we can do better for our city. Just like when 21 Pilots blew up, you want to have the foundation of getting big, getting that money,
yeah,
and then dispersing it otherwise.
Right.
So that's kind of how I think, and it's been very difficult to try to be a musician in that sense, because I'm not a musician. I'm a businessman.
Yeah. Well, that song kicks.
Right on.
And I'm actually not going to let Tony have that. I'm not going to let Tony have that. And this is why. I'll tell you why. Not going to let Tony have that. And if you listen to our most recent album, not ours as in me, but kind of The Greatest Divide.
What was the album? Where Are We Now?
Where Are We Now? If you listen to Tony's vocal performance on The Greatest Divide, which I think is the last track on the album, and you still think Tony Casa isn't a musician,
check your pulse.
You're deaf.
Yeah, I got you.
Well,
So I'm not giving that to him.
Yeah,
you can't have it.
Your
Sorry,
live
buddy.
performance, your energy.
Sorry.
The recordings that even Ferris is speaking to. I mean, you're a musician, dude.
Yeah. It's okay. You
But-
should feel bad about
But
it,
what
but
you're
not for
saying
those reasons.
is it's balanced. It's balanced with your desire to drive the band from a business perspective. And someone has to have those skills, and you obviously
But
do.
in honesty, we all have those skills. So it's not just like something that I'm doing that's something special. It's not anything like that. It's very much like it's just I happen to be fielding the emails. I happen to be reaching out to these people. But in reality, I think that anybody can do that. I don't think that that's something that's out of reach.
Yeah, but this episode of Tony not giving himself enough credit. Like on another edition, we dig deeper.
So he's a humble guy.
Yes.
No, I'm an asshole.
He's the
I'm
most
an
humble
asshole.
guy. He's actually the most humble guy.
I'm really not. I'm such a dickhead. I'm the type of guy, like when I throw my festival for CCC, which is like a all day multiple stage with like comedians and poets and things like that. I realized that everything that I've been trying to do, I always thought it was about me at first. You know, like I just want to perform. I want to be the guy in the spotlight. And then I realized it doesn't make any sense to try to be about you, but not about everybody else. So once I realized that competition versus collaboration was outweighed, I realized that I wanted to be more event-oriented than being the singer of a band.
Nice.
I wanted to make things for the community.
You stepped outside of yourself.
Right, because I realized that I'm not the best singer and I'm not the best frontman, but I will say that I can throw a hell of a fucking party. So I just want to showcase the other people who are doing that, because when I was younger, people taught me. You know, they showed me the ways. These people like, you know, your Jonathan Elliott's or your Andy Shaw's, they showed me how to do it. So now my business with Free Sandwich Productions is something where we teach people to do these things.
Nice.
To book their own shows, to have their own fucking hurrah, you know?
Nice.
I will undercut it again, though. You are great at performing live.
You are.
Like, I say this.
We said that earlier.
I say this to people. I wouldn't play in a band who I think I would be a better frontman. Right. I wanna
Okay,
say,
but
you're
aren't
great at
you
doing
in a
this.
band?
Yeah, but it's not me. Like,
No,
look,
but what's your other band called?
it's called Honeysuck.
Honeysuck.
I work with some friends, right?
Correct.
I'm not the front man either, because every good band needs a great twink.
I am twinkishly small.
Tony is a legendary frontman. You
Yes, he is.
command the stage. You
Yes.
climb on shit. You throw your mic. It's great, man.
Mad skills, no question.
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
very entertaining. Like that's
But
I
that's
do,
a
I
skill.
do appreciate that, but I'm on my way out. You know,
You still have, but you have the business end that you're most attentive toward,
right?
is what you're saying.
Yeah, because
But we're not gonna discount your skills on stage and your.
I won't let it
Oh,
happen.
no,
I won't let it happen.
I do appreciate that. I do sincerely appreciate that. I will absolutely die on stage. I will do just like 21 Pilots do, where they say, hey, you know, we're going to leave it all out there on the stage. I will always do that every single time, and I think that's what the appeal to my own performance is. But I will say that I'm getting old. I'm getting tired, you know, and my knees are giving out on me and this and that. And I want to do this, but I feel like I need to focus my attentions on the up and coming, because our band's just fine. We're good. We're sitting pretty. We're out there headlining ComFest.
hell
We're
yeah.
out there playing, you know, the Taco Fest and the whatever else, you know, Arts Fest. You know, we're doing all these things, even like with the hippie festivals. Like we're doing all this stuff with like Dream Fest and everything else, you know, Hookahville, all these things. I don't worry about my band so much anymore, because at the beginning it used to be we had to get this off the ground. But now that it's off the ground, I'm not worried about that, because
It's gonna roll.
Well, it's
Right,
more
our-
about building a community then.
yeah,
So-
it's all about
and-
building a community.
And I think that's what's so exciting about Columbus in the year 2024, right? Because when I've been down to Nashville a couple times, and the thing I noticed when I was down there is like, man, like everybody really helps each other. Everybody helps each other, you know?
Yep.
Like it's very supportive, and people are happy to hear you play, and they're happy to go to your shows. And I think that's like really essential for a good music scene. And I think building that community is really important.
It's vital. It's vital.
I like the way you guys are thinking, because you're giving back. You know, you're highly popular. You're seeing some success, and you got a future, and you're thinking about outside of yourselves.
Right. I'm almost ashamed at the fact that like we haven't really done enough in my mind. But I'm also the guy there's never enough. I want to work harder, faster, stronger. Like when I was doing the work with CD 92.9.
Yep.
Do you remember that festival? I threw a festival closing out the radio station. And I thought it was wonderful, to give this money back to the staff that was hard up for jobs at that point.
Right.
Because every single band wanted to do that. But I'm realizing now that, like, I feel like I have this position where our band is doing so well, and I'm doing well enough to where people look at us to see what comes next. And I'm worried, I'm worried that we won't provide enough. So I want to be able to find a way to make that happen. Within my own means too. Everybody's got lives. Everybody's got their wives or husbands or whatever it may be, kids, things, jail, fucking what. It doesn't matter. Point is, I feel like Trippin has made its stamp. We are fine within the city. Everybody seems to love us. But when we branch out, it's a whole nother game. But that's between us and God. Outside of that, what we do within the city, we have to make a move. We have to make something happen because I'm embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like I want
you
more.
Want to do more.
I want more.
You have desire inside of you to give back because of what it's done for you and for your bandmates, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a great mantra. And I know you'll take action on it.
I will.
Be patient with yourself, though, man.
But it's hard, man. It's hard. I know that you're saying that right now.
Yeah.
I know you're saying that right now. But man, people demand action, and they look to people who are making these moves, and sometimes, very rarely, I don't think I'm the guy normally, but sometimes people look to me, and I'm not really a leader.
Well, you're not ready.
I'm not ready to lead
yet.
I'm not ready to lead.
Doesn't mean you won't be, right?
In the future, I think I will.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm scared. To be honest, I'm scared.
That's okay. That's fair. And if you're not looking at something that you desire and not feel a little uncomfortable, you're not stretching yourself enough. And obviously, you're stretching yourself because you're uncomfortable. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, you should always play to your weaker suit. I always told people if you're trying to get better at chess, you play a better opponent. And so I want to do these things. I want to make moves not just for my band, but for my company, Free Sandwich, and for the city as a whole. Like I want to be somebody who can prove that the people who gave me what I got will get something out of this. Because people taught me, and I want to teach others.
That's so cool, man. That's good. That's awesome. And speaking of giving back, you mentioned a benefit that's coming up.
Of course.
What's the name of that show?
We have a yearly show that we used to do back in the day before the pandemic. It was called CCC, Columbus Covers Columbus, and all the proceeds go to, these charities and things like that. Well, no, you know what? I take it back. This year, I'm changing it. Not all the proceeds go to the charity. Some of the proceeds go, but reality, the charity is going to go to who is a real charity case. These bands. They have no money. They have nothing. They're fighting hard to just do anything. So I'm going to put them at the Newport in a place they want to play. Because in reality, I tried to make this a thing where it was a South by Southwest type of situation where we had a big bunch of venues, like Ace of Cups, Space Bar, Bossy Girl, Lido's, all on that little segment of that High Street, you know what I'm talking about, by Hudson?
North Columbia. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to book all that, to book this whole thing. But then when I booked this CD929 thing, the management who was booking at Ace of Cup, the talent buyers, they said, hey, we'd love to work with you. They haven't gotten back to me yet. And I'm trying to make something happen with that. I want it to be a community thing. I want it to be all the venues involved. I want it to be an outdoor experience, but it's not working out. So now, since they've taken their time, all the other venues in town have been on board. But I've had some troubles with Ace of Cups, which is whatever. Maybe they're just buried in the email. Who knows? Maybe they don't have the staff. Doesn't really matter. Point is, I'm still going to do this. So I'm going to put it at Newport instead. And then all the local merchants, they're allowed to come. All the local bands, they're allowed to come. And they're going to be playing other local bands that they were inspired by.
Nice.
So at that point, it's such a fun thing because can you imagine? What's the name of your band?
Well, my band is Days Gone By. It's a cover band.
Okay, what's the last original band you played in?
Original band? I really haven't played in an original band. I've recorded my own original stuff.
Let me ask you this then.
But
what's the name of one of your original songs?
Perseverance.
Can you imagine if Snarls from Columbus, Ohio was playing Perseverance?
I thought it'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Do you know how much I would shit? How much would you shit?
I would weep at the stage.
The point is, it's just about playing local music by other local musicians. It's just fucking fun. It feels so good when somebody's covering your song and nobody gives a shit about us. Let's be fucking honest. Let's be very real. Nobody gives a shit about us. But when somebody in the scene is playing your song in a different way that you've never heard it,
that's good stuff, man.
it's so exciting.
That's beautiful.
And those people show up to the show to watch you and film you. Everybody's so excited. This is what I want.
Well, and you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
He's going to do it.
I'm going to do it 3 stages. December 14th, Newport Music Hall.
Nice.
I met up with the management. They said they'd let... You know, when I had troubles with Ace of Cups, they said, we can't find open dates. I said, well, that's fine. To each their own. I will take this elsewhere.
Gotcha.
I will make this work for our city, for our community. And we're going to make a bunch of money for CCAD, who just gives more money out to the community. They just give benefits.
They are awesome.
You submitted for the first time. We have never ever in Zoo Trippin or in Free Sandwich Productions or Tony Casa as a person, any of that. Nobody has ever submitted for a
grant. It was for a grant.
A grant from GCAC.
Yeah. They're awesome, dude. They're so helpful.
They give so many brilliant grants out, but all we do is give them money to give them more money out. But now we're applying.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
So it's like these people who we've been giving money to, they potentially will give us money back. It's like a weird current that's happening.
It's good karma.
It's good karma, but it's also good currency.
It's a good economy.
It's a good economy.
Yeah.
It's somebody putting something in.
Rolling forward.
And it rolls forward. You're absolutely right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, they really do care about the scene, though. Like, they really do. It's very nice to see.
Well, the first time I ever tried to give a donation to GCAC, it was like me coming into here, to your apartment.
Yeah.
Like this is funny. This is a funny story.
When me and Ferris were walking in here, we were just like, "This is so weird." Sorry, like it's very nice. We don't have a suit on. I feel like an asshole. But like when I did it with GCAC, the first CCC, I'm like, we raised a bunch of money, and I used to be a dope boy or whatever. Like I used to do shit differently. So like now I'm like, well, here's a bag full of money. People don't like that.
Right.
They don't like a bag full of cash. You know what I mean? They get upset about it.
They do.
It's weird. I didn't understand that was a real thing. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes.
What have you been doing, dude?
I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Point is, I brought a bag of money, brought a big old brown bag of money, cash, to the downtown establishment that is GCAC.
Yeah.
And it was through your building, your
Tony,
Chase building.
What were you wearing?
Oh, saying that I'm wearing now, so nothing. Point is, it was in your building, the Chase building, downtown. And I cruise up to that 13th floor and I drop off a brown bag full of cash.
Oh my gosh.
They were not happy.
No.
They were very much, they called me back immediately. They're like, no, we can't take this.
You can't deal with cash today. You just can't.
I don't understand, man. I'm from the hilltop. I don't get it. It's very confusing to me.
It's automatically suspect, that's why. It's just suspect.
Let me be suspect. Let me just live a little bit. Let me wet the tip of the community. God, it's hard to talk about because it's very much something where when you're very real about this stuff, when you're very real about any business, sometimes there's nefarious purposes, I should say. And sometimes that's what builds you. And sometimes it's what makes it great.
Yeah. Makes it great.
It's shameful, but sometimes you gotta find a way.
Tony, you're finding your way, man.
Tony's gonna find his way.
He's finding his way. You're bringing everybody with you. It's good stuff. I love the inspiration and energy.
I love this.
It's good stuff. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you on stage? Or off?
Let me tell you something.
Hit us with the story.
I'll tell you a quick story real quick. I'll tell you one time, we're about to play this festival, right? We're about to play a festival called Dream Fest in Ansonia, Ohio. Have you ever been to Ansonia, Ohio?
I have not.
I know you have not. I know that is not an answerable question. Nobody's been to Ansonia, Ohio. Point is, this is the first thing that's bringing them there. This is a real thing. This is what's happening. Like, do you remember when, help me out here, New York Festival, hippies?
Yeah, the
Woodstock. So Woodstock, nobody knew the name of that town. Nobody gave a shit about it.
They do now.
They fucking sure as shit do now. They get continuous business. And this is the capitalist in me. They get continuous business. And this, because I'm not an artist, I'm just trying to make revenue for the community. So the point is, these guys did it. These other people are doing it in other communities, like Ansonia, Ohio. There's nothing out there, dude. This fucking guy, his name is Dustin Smith. He is so damn funny, so damn talented. He was just a regular fella, Yep. He was a guy who was walking around on his own 2 feet, watching these festivals, looking at acoustic hookah, talking about, like, I wish I was on the stage. And then he wrote a song about being on the stage, and then he did it. He made it happen. He made his own band. He became a singer. He did all this stuff. And then out of nowhere, he makes this festival called Dream Fest in Ansonia, Ohio, which nobody gives a shit about, dude.
Yeah, but is Zoo Trippin playing?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
We're playing, and I'm going to be the MC the entire time. So man. The whole weekend, I'm going to be out there MCing, introducing the bands. It just breaks my heart that people don't know that they're living in a community that are hearing your podcast and they don't know there's all this shit in Ohio. It's fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing because the people who don't live don't fucking look.
Yeah.
It's fucking embarrassing.
Gotta go outside.
Go outside.
Gotta go outside.
See what you're living in, man.
Yeah.
There's good stuff here.
Live your life, dude.
Yeah,
there's so much
stuff
going
here.
on.
There is. Oh, and outside of Columbus.
All ages stuff too. Like, well, we do our 10-year anniversary at what's it called?
The Commons.
The Columbus Commons. Right outside your windows.
Yep.
Like, this is a beautiful space. This is an awesome amphitheater. This is local music. So give a full fuck. Come on out. And if you don't like that stuff, who gives a shit? It's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Enjoy it, be out, smell the fresh air.
Yeah, dude. Even if you don't like it,
sights.
there is a carousel. There is food trucks. I'm not trying to push music anymore at this point. I'm not trying to sell Zoo Trippin'. I'm just trying to sell experiences.
In the event.
Yeah,
The event.
we'll have
It is the
earplugs if you
experience.
don't like our music. We can just plug up.
That one time at Dreamfest, that festival that we played at, bringing back to your question about interesting things that have happened on stage. One time we played that Dreamfest, right? A couple years ago. And I saw this fella. He was out there in the crowd, right? He's looking at me. He sees me in his eyes. And when he's looking at me, he's standing very still. And I remember thinking, like, we're playing a Sunday morning. We're not the Friday, Saturday night feature. You know, like, this is just added bonus, just a band that happens to be there. And we're normally that. We're the band that happens to be there. That's fine.
Yep.
Shout out to all the bands who are touring. You're going to play countless shows that nobody's at. We do that all the time. But they were very kind to have a show where they had free hot dogs and free beer. We happened to be the band that was playing. And I look at this guy, and he sees me. Like, he's looking at me. And he just starts feverishly tearing off his clothes. Like, as fast as he could pull off his clothes off his body, he tore them off. And then he starts sprinting at me, right? And I remember being like, oh shit, this is something that's happening. I should probably document this for our footage. Because again, not a musician, I'm a businessman. I'm like, this is a hit on YouTube, you know?
So you pull out your phone and you
I
start
pull out my
filming
phone, yeah. So I start filming the fella, you know, and he's running and he runs past security. He leaps over the boundaries and sprints right past security, runs up on stage. Now I'm up there turning my phone around to get him. He slaps my phone out of my hand.
No way.
Now I'm kind of pissed. You know what I mean? Like, this dude's like, nah, hold on, that's my shit. You're coming on my stage and fucking my shit up.
He crossed the line.
I felt a little weird about it, but I'm not like the rest of these guys in this band. Like, I come from a different place where I'm a little more hostile than these rest of these cats. And like they're more like, it's a hippie festival, let's have a good time. And Zach, the guitarist, he's looking at me, and the guy grabs his guitar and starts smashing it on the stage. And by the way, he's naked. We realize this, right? He's very much naked. Yeah. He's smashing the guitar on stage, and we're horrified. The audience thinks, another classic Zoo Trippin' show. They're just funny. They do crazy shit. Nope, not the plan. So he smashed this up. Now I have to wrestle with the guy. And he's wet. You know, he's a wet fella. You know,
right.
he was sweating, and I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff going on there.
There's a lot going on. You know, when you're tripping like that and get that heated, I don't know if he's on Molly. Molly makes you sweat.
Yeah. Yeah. Misconnections on Craigslist. Anybody, if this sounds like you, please contact us. We'd love to talk to you.
We'd love to
if you've done something like this in the past, like, we're not mad. Like,
we just want a photo.
Yeah.
we just want to return your clothes.
Yeah. We want to know how you're doing.
I've
no hard feelings anymore.
I honestly felt bad. Like, at one point,
sounds like you, then
at one point he got pinned down. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I was like, all right, we're gonna stop this, because if I kick the guy off the stage, you know, if I was like, pow, kick this motherfucker off the stage, that's gonna make a whole situation. You know, this is a happy hippie festival.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to be assaulting people. You know.
No.
So I'm like, all right, let's just be cool about it. And then a very heavy security guard sat on the fella, so he couldn't get away. His name was Douglas Ferguson. Bless his heart, man. He sat on that motherfucker. He said, listen, do you want me to call the cops, or do you want me to take you back to your tent? He was like, take me back to my tent. And I remember thinking, this is the difference between a local hippie festival and a regular Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza, whatever. They were like, yeah, no, we'll take you back to your tent. Like, dude, they talked to him. He was cool. Like, it was solid. Like,
that sounds like a very primal moment.
It was primal. It was
like,
primal.
but
like,
I think it was
locked eyes.
local. It was locally supported with kindness.
Yeah.
And
but the
understanding.
primal moment, what he had was a primal moment.
Yeah, that was a primal moment.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is what we mean about building up the community. Who's going to challenge Tony next? Who's going to lock eyes?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Come challenge Tony at the Newport Music Hall, June 14th.
I don't want to wrestle with you. I'm
2024.
so tired. I'm so tired. I used to wrestle, but
Tony's
I'm
pretty
very
good at
tired.
wrestling. Tony's pretty good at wrestling.
Well, Ferris was a wrestler too.
I was
though.
a wrestler. I was a wrestler. I
Well,
never won.
you told me a story today about, I guess I got drunk at the Woodland show.
Yeah. We played Woodlands, and then Tony was like a grabby kind of drunk. You know, we work with that.
Tony?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tony Casa?
Yeah.
Grabby?
Yeah. Only on the fellas though, right?
Okay.
So it was time for the wrestling, right?
And is
Tony?
this before, during, or after the show?
This was after the show. After the show. And yeah, no, we wrestled a little bit. Tony was trying to wrestle a lot of people. He was king of the concrete there for a minute. But I did wrestle in high school, and I was sober.
And you won.
I got him.
Let's be real.
But you know, he almost got me though. He almost got me with the push pull. Like, dude, like
I don't know what that means.
Natural talent. Like he
Damn.
led me in. Right, and he like pushed me back, so I would like lead in. He could like take me down to the ground. You know, like that's a good takedown maneuver. You almost got me with that. Like you really did.
I don't know.
That was pretty good.
And you didn't get home till, what, 4 or 5 in the morning?
I don't know.
night?
Leo
No,
from
we're
Cozen.
early now. We're early now. Hey, by the way, I'm wearing my Cozen shirt right
Leo
now.
from Cozen took him home.
Yeah, Cozen. You know what? Just because I'm not going to say that he's taking me home because I'm wearing his shirt. I'm not going to say he's taking me home because we're playing that show at Susie Q's.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that I think this is weird to say, but do you ever see a young person who say, I see myself in you?
A young person saying that to me? No.
Yeah,
Nobody's
I've
ever
never
said
experienced
that to
that
me.
other than Leo. He was like, I see myself in you. And I'm like, am I reverse time traveling right now?
You might be.
He's
might
such a
be,
sweet
man.
guy. I love this man.
All I know is that I feel like I need to just like do
Gentlemen,
better.
You're doing better. You're
I'm
doing
trying,
more.
I'm trying.
Zoo Trippin is it's a treat. It's a treat to have you guys here tonight. I really appreciate the time, the sharing. We learned a lot about you guys.
Word.
Yeah.
And I think the party is. It sounds like during the teardown when the wrestling match starts at a.
Yeah.
I'm not going to challenge either one of you.
You might lose if you do.
I might what?
You might lose if you do. But buy a ticket to
Dude,
the
don't
Newport
fuck
show.
with old boy, dude.
Come
We're
out.
in his home, dude. He's about to beat your ass.
We'll refund your ticket at the Newport show if you can beat Tony in wrestling.
I'm not going to do it.
Jesus.
There's no way.
But you got to buy a ticket first, and you got to pre-order them.
It's all
you
good.
got to get it from us. We'll give you physicals. That'll sign you up for the wrestling match. I'll ref it. It'll all be very legit.
Sounds troubled. Ferris.
Yeah.
Ferris Clark.
Get your money back.
Tony Casa. Zoo Trippin.
It's
Two
been an
dudes.
honor.
Gentlemen, really appreciate it. Episode number 71.
70 fun.
70 fun.
All right.
Lots coming. I want you guys to come back sometime when it makes sense to you,
Absolutely.
and we'll catch up. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to drink up all your whiskey and all your views.
Though there's plenty where all that occurs. So, at any rate, episode 71 reaching a conclusion here. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.
Cheers.